Good evening, everyone. So we are going to be looking at steps to starting your first export business in Nigeria. Like we all know that starting an export business or any business at all in Nigeria is really can be something that is a bit complex. So it's rather good to have a very good idea about what you want to do and how you intend to go about it. So today we are going to be looking at our first webinar live. That's steps to starting your first export business in Nigeria. And we are going to be considering seven steps. We are going to be considering looking at 7 steps. So if you can hear me, just you can let me know that you can hear me in the comment section. So can you hear me now? I need to know that you can hear me loud and clear before moving on with the presentation for today's webinar. So if you are excited to hear or to listen to this webinar, let me know in the comment section, because I am very excited about what we are going to be learning in our program today. Okay, so for today's class or for today's session, our objective is to understand the practical steps to start your first export business in Nigeria. The steps that you really need. This is not like a textbook thing, but something that you can really put to market, which is what we do at Lagos School of Export Management, where we teach practicalized ways of building and creating a sustainable and profitable export business. So now, and Nigeria's export potential, we need to look into that, which is agriculture, in solid minerals, manufactured goods, and why exports matters. So these are some of the things that we are going to be learning in today's webinar. So now, understanding export basics. What is export? Selling Nigerian goods or services to foreign buyers. That is, you can take either goods, your products, that is products that you manufactured or produced yourself, or something that is just a raw material that you got from the market, and you package it into something valuable that the other party, the buying party or the importer from another country needs, and you sell it or exchange that product for foreign currency, and it's shipped off or sent to the buyer in another currency, so in another country rather. So if you are not sending your goods out or transacting business with another country, with a client from another country, you are not exporting either for your goods or your service. So basically what export means is that you are moving your goods or your service from point A, from country A to country B, in exchange for foreign currency. All right, so we have the oil exports and we have the non-oil exports, but for the course of today's webinar, we are going to be focusing more on non-oil exports. All right, we are going to be focusing on non-oil export, and we also have direct or indirect export, whereby we get our products or we get it manufactured and produced by ourselves, and we get in touch with a buyer abroad that we are exporting to, or that we are doing that otherwise, in which we are getting these products from elsewhere and we are exporting it to some other parts of the world. Who can export? Individuals, SMEs, corporation can export. You can export individually. Let's say you are focused on mini exporting or just foodstuff exporting. You can export with your name. You can export by yourself. But if your export is large scale, that has to do with sea freight or that has to do with containers and all that, you have to have a registered company that you are going to use to do that. And that's where corporations come in, because you have to have a limited liability company to be able to do that. So step 1 in the 7 steps that we are going to be looking at today, the first is research and identify products. So one of the things you have to do is to research and identify products. You have to you have to focus on demand driven products. That is, some of these commodities anyway, they are seasonal. Some have a very high demand period, while some are constant, throughout the year. So you have to look at all these commodities, you have to look at the categories, you have to look at how the demand is like. Is it seasonal? Is it constant? Is there a time when the price goes up? Is there a time when the price goes down? So that you can actually settle for a particular commodity. We have various agricultural commodities in Nigeria, metals, minerals that are being mined, so that you can actually settle for. So you just need 1 or 2 that you can settle with, and then find a way to get a very good buyer that you can execute an export contract with. Then study target markets, that is the countries where you would like or love to export to. Whether it's Asia, it's India, it's China, Vietnam, Europe, US, Middle East, or wherever it is. So you have to study the target market. You have to look at, okay, for the commodity you focused on, for the commodity that you have focused on, is it which particular industry uses that commodity the most? Which particular companies over there use that commodity maybe as raw materials, that they process it, or so you have to think about all that, then settle for the market just as you've settled for the commodity. This is really important. Then step 2 is you have to register your business. That is after you've worked on settling for a commodity that you want to export and the market that you are targeting. So you have to register your business. So like I said, if you are venturing into small scale exporting, you might necessarily not need to register a business, okay? And you might just use your business name, enterprise, if you already have one. But if you have to export by containers, containerized export, sea freight and all that, you have to register your company as a limited liability company. So first you have to register with the CAC. You have to get your TIN, which is your tax identification number. You have to open a corporate bank account with a commercial bank, with any commercial bank, and have your export account that you are going to use. You need this so that you can use that to apply for your exporter registration certificate with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Okay, so that's for step 2. So for step 3, you have to register as an exporter. All right. So like I said earlier, you have to register with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, so that the council can give you an exporter's certificate. And if you have the capacity, you can also join export associations like the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry and Mines, which will also open you up to some opportunities or several opportunities. That is step 3. So going to step 4, we have product compliance and standards. So you want to check out certifications, certificates, everything that shows or that makes sure that your commodity or whatever you want to export is in compliance with the rules and regulations of the country or the buyer's country where your commodity or your product is going to. Okay, and that can be done through researching also, or going from one institute partnership or another with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. And you can ask from active exporters how they go about some of this. So when you have commodities that are going out, some of the things that wants to be checked is your certifications and your documentations. So your certifications and your documentations, the customs over there, they have their own rules and regulations depending on the country where your container is going to or your shipment is going to. So but some of the things that are listed today is your Standards Organization of Nigeria, your SON certificate for your product, your NAFDAC, most especially if this is a product that you are producing or manufacturing by yourself, maybe your company, and you are exporting it in large scale, then you need a quarantine requirement, which will come with the certifications your freight forwarding agents will get for you, or let me say your logistics partner will get for your shipment. Then proper packaging, labeling, certification, and all that. So when you look at several shipments that that leaves the shores of Nigeria, they might not be properly labeled and packaged, most especially when we are talking about packaging. So a lot of things are wrong when it comes to packaging, but this packaging, we can't really go in depth into it right now. We can only just talk about it at the surface level, because first it is dependent on the kind of commodity that you are exporting, or on the kind of products that you are exporting, and the country where it is going to. So for different countries, they have different kind of packaging that they will look over, or that they won't accept, or that they will accept. And when we are talking about labeling, for some labels, once you label and it is in English, you don't have any problem. But for some countries, you have to label in English and you have to translate to the country's language also, right there on the label. Okay, and some very important factors when it comes to labeling is to put in your manufacturing date and the expiring date for the product or the commodity. And you want to understand the specification of your buyer. That is, what are your buyer's specifications? What are those things that the buyer has highlighted for you, to say that, okay, these are the things that I want in this commodity. Maybe the color, in terms of color, in terms of texture, in terms of impurity, So there are several different things like this that makes up a buyer specification, and you must understand them all. So step 5 is source buyers and build market access. Source buyers and build market access. So one of the things that people really used to call us or send us messages or discuss with us about at Lagos School of Export Management is the issue and the case of buyers. If we are going to get them buyers, if there is a program that gives them access to buyers. But the truth is, what we do is we teach and we train you on how to get buyers. So there are several platforms out there you can use to get buyers, like B2B platforms, business to business platforms that you can use to get buyers. All right, and you can attend trade fairs and business to business events where you can network and meet importers from other countries that are willing to buy or tap into the commodity that you are exporting. Also, social media can be leveraged for marketing whichever commodity that you have chosen to get buyers abroad that you can do business with. While some of these platforms are subscription-based platforms, several other platforms are free of charge, and are very effective, just like when you are subscribed to any of these platforms. Step 6 is logistics and shipping. So you have to choose an air freight. Let's say you are going by the mini exporting or the food stuff exporting. So you have to have an air freight, an agent, a shipping partner that you use. And if it's sea freight, for instance, you might just look into working with maybe MSC, maybe Maersk, and one of any of these sea freight or shipping company. You need a courier depending on your location. So you will be able to arrange. You have to be able to arrange your logistics depending on your location, where you are in the country, and get the necessary partners that will make the business or the work or the process seamless. So you have to learn the necessary Incoterms also, like FOB, like CIF, like EXW. All these terminologies, they affect how your logistics work. Okay, they even affect your pricing. That is how the commodities you want to ship to the other country is going to be priced. FOB stands for free on board. CIF stands for cost, insurance, and freight. EXW stands for X works. So, which can come in different dimensions, like X works, X warehouse, X factory, X states. So you need to understand how they work, because it will influence your logistics and it's going to influence your pricing. So you have to work with freight forwarders and customs agents. Very important. So that's why I keep mentioning partners, because it's not something that only you can just do. You need partners along the way, most especially when you are just starting in the business. So step 7, which is the final step, is payment and documentation. So you want to use safe methods, like I do say in some of our classes, or to some of our students, you can export and not get paid for what you exported. So it's very essential or crucial for you to get paid. So using safe methods like letter of credit, bill for collection, advance payments. So all the pros and cons that are attached to the different kind of payment rudimentaries are very important for you to understand. All right, so we have key documents that you need to also be familiar with, like your form NXP when you want to apply for the container that you want to send out. your invoice, how it's important to the buyer or the importer who is actually getting the shipment or container that you are sending, the bill of lading from the shipping company, the certificate of origin, and other documentations and certifications depending on buyer specification also, or buyer requirement, which will indirectly also influence the kind of documents that you have to send to your importer or to your buyer. Bank handling via export proceeds, that is CBN regulation. You have to be aware that your from NXP, once it's approved, your ID is tracked by the CBN. All right, so thank you very much. So some of the challenges that we have when it comes to exporting from Nigeria, we are looking at quality rejection abroad, financing issues, documentation complexity, and logistics delay. These are just due to some of the economic issues that we have in the country. Then solutions to these are training, partnership, use export agencies, and starting small. So I'm going to advise everyone who has listened to this, or who has learned one thing or another from today's webinar, to log on to lsem.org.ng and register for any of our courses if you want to learn in depth, if you really want to, because this is just a surface level webinar. So if you really want a structured curriculum program, just log on to our website lsem.org.ng and select any of our programs that you'll be interested in. And if you need to talk to someone or anybody, you can just reach us at info@lsem.org.ng. Thank you very much.